Katrina Powell, thank you so much for talking to us. Firstly, congratulations on being named as the head coach of the Hockeyroos. You must be incredibly proud about that. As a player, you won everything with them, 2 Olympic gold medals, a 1998 World Cup as well in Utrecht. You scored 141 goals in 252 games. So you must be very proud to take charge of a team that you've given your all to as a player.
Yeah, I'm really proud. I mean, obviously, I've got a long history with the Hockeyroos, and as you know, any international player will tell you that's played for a long time, it becomes your family. It becomes a real part of who you are. And so, yeah, now to be in charge of the team, I'm amazingly proud to be in this position.
And I mean, it's obviously quite early days in the role, and we know Tokyo's just around the corner, but it's still quite early for you to take on this job. How are you settling into the role?
Yeah, pretty well. Obviously, it's quite a shock to be moving across the country quite quickly. But I spent 20 years living in Perth, where the team is based. So it was pretty easy to essentially get into the way of life in Perth. The stadium that I trained at, that's still where they are. So a little bit felt like going home. Obviously, the timing of it is what makes it kind of tricky. That the Olympics is just about upon us, and so there's some time, but not much time at all. So it's been pretty much go, go, go.
I can imagine. I mean, for those who do not know, can you tell people about your journey into coaching following your retirement as a player?
Yeah, after I retired at the conclusion of the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens, I got a coaching scholarship with our Australian Institute of Sport. And so I got to pretty much coach in the same environment that I'd just left. So there was definitely challenges there. And then I eventually coached the national junior team and became a national assistant coach. And then, you know, as coaches change, head coach position changed. And so I found myself moving back to the east coast of Australia, where I was originally from and where my family are still based. So back to the east coast and started coaching at the New South Wales Institute of Sport, which is in our development pathway, really. So I got to coach young players that were aspiring to be Hockeyroos, which I found really rewarding. And it was great I really enjoyed living in Sydney as well, just as a different perspective on the world, I think, being thrown into a big city like that. But yeah, my time at the New South Wales Institute of Sport was really valuable in terms of my development and growth as a hockey coach. But it kind of got me to just, I suppose, rekindle that love of the developing early, all the technical and tactical things that athletes are unaware of and what's required at the next level. So I think for a while I found my niche there, coaching, mentoring, the next generation of Australian hockey players.
And any of the players that you coached when they were younger, have any of them progressed through to the Hockeyroos and are part of the group now?
Yeah. There's a few here now. The likes of Mariah Williams, Greta Hayes, Grace Stewart. Most of the ones that have come out of New South Wales have had something to do with. So yeah, it's really pleasing to come back and work with them again. And also, I mean, that's been the beauty of stepping in now and seeing them in this environment, is to, I suppose, really acknowledging the growth that they've made over that period of time as well. So yeah, it's really nice to see how they've progressed into world's best hockey players and really performing on the international stage, but also what good people they are.
Looking ahead to Tokyo now, so like you've got this new role, you're going to be coaching the team rather than playing with them. Every match at the Olympic Games, as you know, is going to be difficult. You've got a tough looking pool. You've got to try and get out of that pool to play into the quarterfinals. You've got Argentina, New Zealand, China, Spain, and the hosts, Japan. It's not going to be straightforward, is it?
No, it won't be. And there's a mixture of styles, a mixture of, our, I suppose, recent history against some of those teams as well, that we're you know, competing with also. And yeah, playing the host country is never easy. So yeah, we've got a big task ahead of us, and it is all of that preparation then to make sure that we are playing the best that we can, and we'll face and take on any challenge that comes at us.
And obviously you got New Zealand in there, the Oceania derby. You played in a few of those in your time. I mean, that should be special, playing that at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, definitely. And we seem to regularly get New Zealand in those big tournaments as well. And so we've got that fierce rivalry happening. We're obviously, cousins. You know, the Australia-New Zealand relationship is a really special one. And certainly through COVID, it's felt even more special as well. We're trying to, you know, create, you know, the Trans-Tasman bubble and all that kind of stuff, that both countries have dealt pretty well with the pandemic. Okay, so how have we been helping each other to get through that, and the region? In terms of sport, though, there is a long history of really wanting to beat each other, and in any number of sports, that hasn't changed. So yeah, same again, and probably we are the underdog in that competition now. It's not the same as it used to be, that they've had the wood over us for a number of years, and yeah, we would go in as the underdog. They would be the favourite.
Well, it's been a fairly turbulent few months, and obviously that Tokyo is getting close. Does that change the way you approach this competition? I mean, what's the goal? What's the big goal for Tokyo?
Yeah, look, I think for us, the objective is to make the semi-finals and then see what happens. Obviously, there's a massive quarterfinal to get through. So for me, I feel like we've got all the way to the quarterfinal to continue to develop and get better, that it's not as savage as Atlanta, where you've got to finish top two. And we have chances all the way along. So there's a belief in what we're doing and a development over a number of matches. We will have limited international hockey before we get there. So we're aiming for the quarterfinal and for our performance to be good in the quarterfinal, and therefore make the semis. And I think that's a realistic goal.
And I guess once you're in the semis, anything can happen.
Absolutely. Banking on it.
Katrina Powell, thank you so much for joining us today, and the very best of luck for everything as you build up towards Tokyo 2020.
Thank you very much.